Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Geek Studios. I'm your host, Joel, and today is April 22nd, 2026. Thank you for joining us for another hopefully jam-packed mini charge episode today, because we are diving into a story that has been a massive cloud hanging over some of the best electric vehicles on the road today. I own two of them. If you've been following the EV space over the last 2 or 3 years, you know that Hyundai and Kia have been killing it. The Ioniq 5, the Ioniq 9, EV6, EV9, these cars have won World Car of the Year awards. They've topped range tests, and they're proven that legacy automakers can actually out-engineer Tesla in areas like charging speed and interior ergonomics. But there's been a bit of a but, a big one. It's a four-letter word long, ICCU. For a small but very vocal and rightfully frustrated group of owners, that acronym has meant the difference between a futuristic road trip and being stranded on the side of the highway with a dead car. Well, as of today, we finally have a massive update from Hyundai Motor Group. They are stepping up to the plate with a massive warranty extension. We're talking 15 years. We're talking 180,000 miles. In today's episode, we're going to break down exactly what this news means, why the ICCU has been such a headache for the E-GMP platform, and whether this move is enough to win back the trust of skeptical buyers. So grab your coffee or your beverage of choice and let's dive in. All right, so before we talk about the warranty, we have to talk about the tech. Because to understand why this is a 15-year fix, you have to understand what's actually breaking. The ICCU stands for Integrated Charging Control Unit. In an internal combustion engine car, you have an alternator that charges your 12-volt battery while you drive. In an EV, it's a bit more complex. You have a massive high voltage battery pack sitting under the floor. That's what moves the wheels. But you still have a standard 12 volt, and in most cases, lead acid battery, just like a 1995 Honda Civic, to run the lights, the infotainment, the wipers, and the safety features. The ICCU is the brain that manages the flow of electricity between all these systems. It handles the onboard charging, OBC, the AC charging, and the DC to DC converter. Essentially, it's the bridge that connects all this together. Now, why has this been a problem for the Hyundai Motor Group? For the last couple of years, owner of E-GMP vehicles, that's the platform shared by Hyundai Ioniq 5, 6, EV6, EV9, and the Genesis GV60, have been reporting a very specific failure. It usually starts with a pop sound or a warning light on the dash saying, check electric vehicle system. Our buddy Doug Wright, who actually owned an Ioniq 6, had his ICCU fail. We did a video about that a few weeks ago if you want to go watch that. So shortly after the car loses power, and in some cases, it goes into a limp mode where you can crawl to the shoulder, or in worst cases, it just shuts down entirely. The culprit? It appears the voltage spikes during the 12-volt charging process were popping a fuse inside the ICCU. Hyundai tried software updates. They tried a recall back in 2024, and while those helped, the 1% problem still persisted. Even after the fix, some owners reported a second failure months later. Now, if you're an owner of one of these cars, that's terrifying. You don't want to wonder if your $50,000 car is going to turn into a brick every time you hit the highway. And that's where today's news comes in. So, according to a report from Electric and some other sources, today, Hyundai Motor America officially authorized a massive warranty extension for the ICCU. Let's look at the numbers because they are genuinely impressive. Standard powertrain warranties for Hyundai and Kia are already industry leading, 10 years, 100,000 miles. But for the ICCU specifically, they're adding an extra 5 years and 80,000 miles on top of that. That brings the total coverage to 15 years or 180,000 miles. Now, think about that for a second. If you bought an Ioniq 5 in 2022, your ICCU is now covered until 2037. By then, we'll probably be driving flying cars, or at least solid state batteries will be the norm. Hyundai released a statement saying they are committed to the safety, quality, and long term reliability. They're acknowledging that while they've been monitoring the performance of the units, they want to give owners peace of mind. And it's not just Hyundai. While the official announcement today focused on Hyundai North America, Kia told Electrek that they are preparing a similar program for EV6 owners in the coming days. We're also seeing reports that this is going global, with similar extensions popping up in Germany. Now, this is a huge strategic move. Hyundai is essentially saying, we haven't found a 100% permanent silver bullet software fix yet that prevents every single failure. So we're going to foot the bill for the next decade and a half to make sure you aren't left holding the bag. Now, as someone who owns 2 Kias, I want to play devil's advocate for a minute. Because if you go onto Reddit or the Ioniq forums on Facebook, you'll see that the anger isn't just about the part breaking, it's about the service experience. When these ICCUs fail, there aren't always a quick swap at the dealership. Because so many were failing at once, parts were on back order for months. People were stuck in rentals, sometimes gas-powered rentals, that the dealership made them pay for, waiting for a part to arrive from Korea. Now, a warranty is great, but a warranty doesn't give you your time back. It doesn't help you if you're stranded in the middle of a family road trip in Nebraska or Arkansas with a dead ICCU and the nearest dealer is 100 miles away. So, next question, is 15 years of coverage enough? Now, from a resale value perspective, absolutely. If you're looking to buy a used EV6 or an Ioniq 5 3 years from now, knowing that the most notorious failure point is covered for another 12 years, well, that makes the car a much safer bet. It protects the residual value of the vehicle, which is something automakers care deeply about. But for the current owner, the 1% chance is still a gamble. Electrek pointed out that despite the software updates intended to reduce voltage spikes, some cars are still experiencing issues. The silver lining here is that by extending the warranty, Hyundai is giving their engineers time. They are buying time to refine the hardware in newer production cycles so that eventually the replacement parts being put into older cars are bulletproof versions that won't fail again. So, if you own an E-GMP vehicle, Ioniq 5, Ioniq 6, EV6, EV9, or Genesis GB60, what is your to-do list after hearing this news? Are your concerns a little more eased, or is it still a little hyped? Well, here's what I think, if it matters. First, don't panic. Statistically, you are likely in the 99% of the owners who will never see this issue. I know it feels like a plague when you read forums, but remember that people don't go to forums to post day 400. My car started perfectly again. They go there to vent when things break and can't be fixed. Also, you can check your VIN. Hyundai has a specific campaign site, autoservice.hyundaiusa.com/campaign home. I'll say it again and we'll put it in the description of this video. That is autoservice.hyundaiusa.com/campaign home. Go there, punch in your VIN. Sebastian did this right before I recorded this episode, and he said he's still on his original ICCU. Even if you think you're up to date, check. There may be a new software logic update designed to protect the ICCU from those fatal voltage spikes. Third, you need to watch for symptoms. If you see a check electrical vehicle system light on and your car suddenly limits your AC charging speed to very low, or if you hear a loud pop while driving, pull over safely immediately. Don't try to push through to get home. Once the fuse goes, you have a very limited amount of time before the 12-volt battery drains and the car shuts down. And finally, keep all of your receipts. If you previously paid out of pocket for an ICCU repair or a rental car because your warranty had expired or was denied for some reason, this extension usually comes with a reimbursement clause. Check the official Hyundai Kia notices coming to your mailboxes. So to wrap things up, I think this is a win for the EV industry. When Tesla had their early drive unit failures, they extended warranties. When Chevy had the Bolt battery issue, they replaced packs and extended warranties. This is how a maturing industry behaves. Hyundai and Kia are signaling that they aren't going to run away from their early adopter problems. A 180,000-mile warranty is a massive statement of confidence. It says, we're in this for the long haul. It makes the E-GMP cars, which are already some of the fastest charging and most efficient EVs on the market, a lot easier to recommend to a friend or buy on the used EV market. All right, everyone, that is your mini charged episode for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, which I hope you did, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube and consider becoming a paid member, just $5 a month, and you get early access to all our content while also supporting our channel. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio podcasts, tap that follow button and leave us a quick rating and comment. It really helps our show grow. As always, thanks for watching, and stay charged and stay geeky.